So, it is almost fall time, my favorite season. I picked out the perfect hoodie for this video. I'm so excited for fall, Halloween, like all those kinds of things. And I made a little list of books that I recommend for people to read this fall. I tried to pick a mix of different types of books and different lengths of books, but I have a little list of 5, and I tried to do a lot of horror and thriller because 'tis the season. I'm very excited to read a lot of horror and thriller books this fall. I think that will really get me back into my groove of reading a lot. So I'm going to talk about the books, and that'll be it for today. So let's get into my list. First on my list is one of my favorites. I forget how long ago. I did read it this year. It was in this year that I read this book, A Certain Hunger. Oh my god. I absolutely adored this book. The cover is gorgeous. It is Renaissance, beautiful. And the story, you think in the beginning that like maybe it's not what I think it is, and it just progresses and progresses and progresses. And I love how nonchalant the main character is in her thought process and of her sharing everything that has happened and everything that she has done. I think that it is an absolutely beautiful story. Like, it is so elegant in the way that it is told. I'm one of those people, I love kind of the stuff behind, the psychology behind, like, serial killers, like, all of that kind of stuff. So this book, like, scratched that itch for me when I read it. Absolutely amazing. I would recommend it to anybody. I don't want to give any spoilers in any of these book recommendations. I hate doing spoilers, but I will talk a little bit about what they're about. So, A Certain Hunger has a female main character, and she tells the story of why she is now in prison and how she got where she was, how it happened, how much it progressed, all of this stuff. And she tells it in such a well thought out and monotone yet emotional way. Absolutely beautiful progression. The pacing was perfect. The language, beautiful. That is like one of my top 10. Absolutely adored that book. If you're looking for something not so scary, but more kind of like eerie, creepy, that book might be for you. Next one. Oh, the next one. We're just going to jump in. I'm not going to say anything yet. The next one, it does have a second book. I just haven't read it yet. What Moves the Dead. This book, I would recommend it to anybody on earth that would listen. If you like The Last of Us, that kind of idea of like a zombie, you will love this book. So, What Moves the Dead is told in kind of a more old-timey fashion, which is absolutely amazing. I love how they talk about the scenery and what the world is like at the time of this. But it's not in your face scary, like boo, jump scares, craziness. It is very much like well thought out. It is like a slow progression. There is oh, you just have to think and connect things while you're reading it. It is a novella, very short. If you're an audiobook person, the audiobook is only like 5 hours long. You could finish it in a day. I did. Absolutely love this book. Cannot wait to read the second one when I eventually get to it. I keep looking at it on my bookshelf. Maybe I will read that again this fall. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Been trying to get my boyfriend to read it. We'll see. Basically, what this one is about is, oh gosh, it's hard to explain. So, this person gets a letter from a friend of theirs inviting them to come to their house. They say, my sister has been very ill. There is something wrong with her. I'm worried about her. I think that she's going to die. So, off they go to see their friend, and they realize something is very off with his sister. It's like more uncanny valley kind of off. And there is something with the rabbits in the area. It progresses very quickly. But if you really like mycology, that kind of stuff, you could also compare it a little bit to Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio. That's another kind of mycology thing. But What Moves the Dead does mycology zombie on a whole other level. It is absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend it for this fall. The next one we're doing is a little more serious, but it has a movie adaptation. So we'll talk about that. This one is one of my favorite movies, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I don't think there is almost anybody out there that has not at least heard of this book / movie. The movie was amazingly made. Amazing. Love that movie. I watch it at least once a year. One of my favorites. So, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a little bit more serious. It talks a lot about mental illness and like mental health institutions and what they were like at the time that this was written. So basically, it is this man that is constantly getting into legal trouble, like criminal charges, and they feel that he needs to have some time spent in a mental institution. Maybe they can figure out why this is happening. So he goes to this place, which he doesn't need to be at. He does not have any clear mental illness, nothing like that. He has just been making some bad choices. He goes to this place and he is immediately very upset with the way that the other patients are treated. He doesn't feel that they really have the best life in this place, and he does everything that he can to make their lives more enjoyable. And long story short, it does not end well. I am somebody in the like psychology, mental health field. Absolutely love any book that involves that, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest does it in such a real and well thought out way. It's really sad, but it also is really eye opening to what some of these people go through, what people went through that were in these kinds of places, and how cruel some of the practices were. So if you're looking for something more serious, but also like a little bit scary, try One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I might actually watch this one this fall. I really love that movie and I need to read it again. But next is one of my all-time favorite books. and it is a thriller. Very excited about this one. So this next one is definitely in my top 10 books. Absolutely adore this book. If I am not talking about this book and recommending this book to people, I am dead. I will never stop talking about this book. I have been talking about this book since I started this whole Bookstagram, BookTube, book talk journey. Intensity by Dean Koontz. Totally underrated author. I never see anybody talk about his books, especially not this one. Intensity is so good. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. There is so much happening. It's a lot. And I was sucked into it so quickly. I absolutely love this book. And I really, really want others to read it and love it as much as I did. So, Intensity is about this girl who goes to visit her friend's family for a college holiday break. She didn't have a good childhood, not a good family life, so she is going with this friend, and she's hoping to have a good break because she has nowhere else to really go. She goes to this friend's house. Bad things happen. This guy has her friend. So she is thinking, I have to do something about this. I'm not going to be weak. I'm not going to let somebody do this to me. So she follows them and she makes sure that they get what is coming to them. And she ends up rescuing people. She is really a fighter. She is doing everything that she can to get into this person's head, to try to understand why they are doing this. She is formulating plans. She is really, really good at what she is doing, basically. Throughout the book, we get to learn a little bit more about her background and her childhood. We get to the end, and the end, it makes it come a little bit full circle. But the twist that was at the end, I never could have expected it. This was also the first book I read where you see the antagonist point of view a lot. It does flip back and forth between the main character's point of view and the killer's point of view and his thought process is icky. Ew, it. There's just something about seeing things from the bad guy's point of view that is so gross. Good example is You by Caroline Kepnes. Ugh, that book. Just thinking about it gives me chills. It made me feel icky, and I loved every minute of it. Intensity was the exact same way. It was icky. It made me feel gross. I could not let go of the book. I loved every single second that I was reading that book. It is so good. It is an amazing thriller. So well written. I think that everybody should try reading it. If you read one book by Dean Koontz, you're going to realize you want to read every book by Dean Koontz. He, in my mind, is on the same level as Stephen King. Like, they are the horror thriller gods, and I worship the ground they walk on. Like, I absolutely love Dean Koontz and his work. If you want a good thriller this Halloween season, read Intensity. You will not regret it. Moving on to my last one. This one is a bit more of a popular one. I think that everybody's seen it by now, but I still wanted to mention it. The last book that I have on this list is one that I also read this year, also a newer one. It's a Riley Sager book, so I think people can already guess what it is. The Only One Left. I saw a lot of people critiquing this book a lot, but I absolutely loved it. There are so many twists and turns. I had no idea what was going to happen in the end. And I loved that about it. I miss reading books where I don't know what to expect. I kept thinking, oh, it has to be this. Like, this is what happened. No, I was wrong every single time. It was so wild. It was so bizarre. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I loved that book. So basically, this book is about this woman who agrees to be the caretaker of a not well liked person in a community. She is thought to have killed her entire family. And this woman is basically like, I have nothing left. I'm just going to take it. So she goes and she starts unraveling the story and really immersing herself into it and trying to figure out what happened. And there are people that don't want her to know. She meets so many other people that know things. She is kind of getting into everyone's heads and trying to figure it out. And by the end, she does. She figures it out. But I never could have expected how it was going to end. It was absolutely, like, mind-blowing. I have never read any other Riley Sager work yet. I have some other books by Riley Sager. I just haven't read them yet. So maybe I'll do another one of his books this Halloween season. But if you want more of a, like, mystery kind of thriller, The Only One Left might be for you. It's really like a whodunit, nobody is who you think they are kind of story. So it's very fast paced. There's a lot happening. There are a lot of connections to make. Like, wild. It is absolutely wild what happens in that book. But that was my small list of book recommendations for this fall. I will likely do some more videos like this throughout fall as I read some and want to talk about them. Yeah, that's all I have. My kitty's laying back here all sweet. She doesn't do this often, so I have to enjoy it while I can. But I will see you next Friday. I hope that you read some of these books this fall and enjoy them. Happy reading. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.